wasn't necessarily the plan going in. That was something that Austin Barnes guided him to. Here we go. Kershaw's 16th start against the Cubs lifetime begins with a swing and a miss from Contreras. A Cubs lineup that has scored 30 runs over the last 4 games. That, though, comes after they were shut out 3 times in a 4-game span. That's kind of the story with them. Boom or bust for this Cubs lineup this year. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. So on the wins, 7 a game. In the losses, fewer than 3 per game.
Advantage Klayton Cershaw here, of course, because of the 0-2 count, and he's gotten by the first 2 pitches, and it's not in play.
Slider gets him swinging. 31 of his 40 strikeouts this season have come on that pitch.
It has just had great tilt action this year. He's been able to throw it for a strike and then bury it like that. Very tight spin on his slider, hard for the hitters to recognize. And then, of course, as much as he throws the fastball in, they think it's that.
Here's a great matchup. Chris Bryant takes strike 1 from Kershaw. Bryant comes in leading the league in homers, 2nd in RBIs, leads the league in slugging. He's 2nd in OPS. Yeah, what is the final year of his contract? Curve is raked foul, 0-2. He's picking a good time to put up MVP caliber numbers again, isn't he, heading into free agency?
He sure is, and it really not because, oh, I'll concentrate on my free agent year. He's just healthier and feels so much better at the plate. So you're just seeing a resurgence of Chris Bryant, and at the right time as far as contracts are concerned.
On an 0-2, he rips one down the line to left. That's a fair ball. Bounces into the seats. All kinds of English on that thing to get up in there.
That's a first.
Double.
I have never seen that. A ball in fair territory on that angle, a line drive. Yes, a pop-up from a left-handed hitter with side spin hits fair and goes into the stands. Yes, but a right-handed hitter hooking it down the line and then having enough spin on it where it doesn't hook foul, lands fair, and ends up in the seats. This is rare.
Man.
Wow.
Sharp hook.
Yeah.
Bryant stays hot with a 1-out double. Cubs are the man in scoring position for Anthony Rizzo. Fouls off the first one. Well, as hot as Bryant has been, Rizzo has not. He's 6 of his last 34. Well, they did have a home run on Sunday. Boy, how about the Cubs scoring 12 runs in their last game and losing 13-12 in 10 innings against the Reds on Sunday. It's the organization that owns the highest scoring 1-run loss in the history of baseball. They lost the game 23-22 in 1979 and a Mike Schmidt home run in the 10th inning. Kershaw 8 for 8 strikes. Been ahead 0-2 on all 3 hitters.
Two of the Cubs have swung at the first pitch, and Klayton, that could be his Achilles heel. They could be getting over fast, or they could be getting some hits on that first pitch. They're hitting 444 this year on the first pitch when they put it in play off of him.
176 after. It's always one of the stories within the story with Klayton Kershaw and with any top-level pitcher. You often see teams more aggressive, not wanting to get into those 2-strike counts. One interesting wrinkle from Kershaw, though, is that he's throwing the first pitch for a strike at the lowest rate since 2010 for him. Home with an 0-2. A curve is yanked down the line, a fair ball, and an early lead for the Cubs. Rizzo with an RBI single. Bryant scores 1-0 Chicago.
The right-handed hitter uses the left field line. The left-handed hitter uses the right field line. Rizzo doesn't have it bounce up into the stands, but it was on the same exact line, right down the line. And Bryant's was so close to going foul. Take a look at Rizzo's right down the line there. Once it gets through, there's no catching that guy.
Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing. Javier Baez swinging a miss, strike one. Baez hitting .324 over an 8-game hitting streak. Although in true Javier Baez fashion, while there's a lot of power in there, he also leads the league in strikeout percentage. As in, strikes out more than anybody else.
He could be heating up right now, though. He's starting to hit a few home runs. He's got 7.
Yeah, the Cubs have the top home run hitting trio in the majors. You've got Bryant with 9. And in addition to Baez with 7, Contreras has 7. The 0-2 spikes that one, ball one.
It could be the result right there of that spike of giving up two-strike breaking ball hits. Klayton trying to make it extra special now with 2 strikes again and not giving up a 2-strike hit. He's really trying to bury that one.
That's the first ball that he's thrown, by the way. I don't know what the other objects were over the first 11 pitches, but 2-2. 8-4 against the Cubs lifetime with an ERA below 3. Takes a look at Rizzo and delivers 2-2.
The rainout happens, the doubleheader gets scheduled, and then both staffs go into meetings on when's the game times, who are we going to pitch, you know, where are we for the next game after the doubleheader. And the first thing you look at is who's our morning guy? Who wakes up quicker than the others? And Klayton Cershaw was the one that get that. I would always be game 2.
Shocker. That pops out of the stand and the count is full.
I'd be like, all right, guys, you get them in game 1. I'll come in, you know, middle of game 1, start to get into my pregame routine. I'll see you guys between games.
Well, this one here, they would have had to rip you out of bed to start.
Yeah. I hated East Coast day games because of the body clock from the West Coast, and now you're on the East Coast. Now you got to go to sleep and you can't. Then you got to get up early. Now you got to get your body clock warmed up. It's like I'm not even at the mall yet and I'm pitching.
Well, this works out okay for Kershaw, whose start day routine is a mixture of cereals for breakfast. So he can get his normal meal in.
You think, why would I say the mall? Because that's what I did on my night games to kill time on the road. I would just go walk the mall just to kind of let my mind rest.
Baez lays off and has just his 2nd walk of the year to 39 strikeouts.
And he wanted to swing. It just wasn't enough of a strike to get him to swing. He's going to cut it loose, especially from a guy who throws so many strikes and doesn't walk people in Klayton Cershaw. And he does a nice job holding up.
So he's gotten 0-2 on all 4 hitters, but 3 of them have reached. There's the old San Francisco Giant Matt Duffy. Former runner-up for Rookie of the Year in San Francisco. Then went to the Rays in his first year with the Cubs. Strike one. Started in left field today. First game of his big league career in the outfield. He's played at a couple of games in the minors, but he's a third baseman by trade.
He's hoping it's not a windy day. First time in the outfield in Wrigley. You don't want to mess with the wind shifting.
Curveball in the dirt. Barnes able to find it before anybody takes off. Cubs are just kind of out of options in the outfield right now with some of the injury issues they're dealing with. Ian Happ, their center fielder, was in an outfield collision on Sunday, so his ribs are really sore, wasn't available, and they didn't want to start Jason Hayward, who It's 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts against Kershaw. So they said, Duffy, what do you think? Two on with 1 out. Duffy hits a ground ball under Seager's glove into left. Rizzo will stop at third, and the bases are loaded. Very similar looking play to ball in Milwaukee in the extra innings win for the Brewers on Saturday night. Seager in the hole just can't quite get it with a backhand.
It seems like Duffy hits it hard enough, but I think Seager's got enough range to get there. Just seems like he's like 1/2 a step short. It's like if the glove was a little longer or he could reach a little lower, he'd get that one. Big league shortstop feels like that should be my ball.
So they're loaded up for David Bodie. Already a big spot in this game. You already touched on how everything's magnified in a 7-inning game. A swing and a miss for strike 1. He continues to get ahead.
Well, if your starter can go 5, you only have to really use 2 relievers and you get right to the back end guys. So, but if your starter can go 6, it might be just a closer. And if the starter can go 7 because you're ahead, you let him do it and get set up for game 2. So yeah, everything is magnified as far as the value of a run and who breaks on top. And this could be a huge inning.
In the dirt, kicks away from Barnes, and now they could have some trouble on the bases, although Barnes will hold on to it, not risk the runner coming home from third.
That ball kicks away far enough for Rizzo to make it. I don't know why he hesitated at the end, if he lost the ball or he thought it was coming back to Barnes off the wall. Boy, you rarely see a ball kick this far from a catcher and not see the runner at third. Oh, he might have got blocked out by Austin Barnes with the angle right there. When Barnes vacates, Rizzo can't see how far the ball is getting until it caroms off. And you are right, they almost had an issue with Baez creeping down Rizzo's throat at third.
That would have gotten really interesting had a throw gone down there. Here's a 1-1. Bodie cranks a ball left center field off the wall. Ricochets back in towards the infield. Here comes Seager's throw to the plate, not in time, and a bases clearing double from David Bodie. Just like that, the Cubs lead 4-0.
The sound makes you have a pit in your stomach when you're pitching on this one, because you think, oh no, granny. And then you feel pretty good when it stays in the park, but then when it caroms so far from your left fielder and it clears the bases, the pit of your stomach comes back. Klayton has been throwing a lot of strikes, but really not showing that he can land the curveball. So it's been one of 2 speeds, the slider or the fastball that just got hit.
Still just 1 gone. Jake Marisnick with a half-hearted swing and a foul tip, strike 1.
Cubs coming off a tough loss. Dodgers coming off kind of a laugher where the offense really exploded. They're going to need that offense, it looks like, in this game 1.
Curve again. And it foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Coming into the day, Oral, opponents against Kershaw with 2 strikes were 1 for 34 this year. They've got 2 hits in this first inning and a walk. After getting to 0-2, beg your pardon. And the dirt, ball 1. Kershaw had given up 4 runs in his previous 5 starts combined.
Well, coming into the game, right-handed hitters were hitting .250 off him, and all the home runs he'd given up this year were to right-handed hitters. And then the Cubs, who had just broken out in their last game, they send up what is really 8 righties and 1 lefty in Rizzo. Rizzo gets a hit, and other than that, these right-handed hitters haven't let Klayton breathe. I think Dave Roberts will be very patient with Klayton too. I think that they'll try and get 80 to 100 pitches out of him to protect the bullpen. In some ways, he's got to be his own stopper and stop the bleeding.
2-2.
I'm sure Dave Roberts feels pretty good about Trevor Bauer in game 2. He just threw the first complete game of the year, went 8 innings in a tough loss. The offense didn't really support him, but Bauer will take that mantle of knowing he needed to eat innings and probably do well with it. And almost expected the same thing out of Klayton here.
It's gone full on Marisnik. Well, Kershaw has talked before about one of the great lessons he learned early on in his career watching Derek Lowe in a game at Colorado, a place where Lowe hated to pitch. Got blasted in the first inning, threw like 50 pitches, but refused to come out and wound up going 5 innings in that game and leaving a lasting impression on Klayton Kershaw. The importance of fighting on a day where you just don't have it, especially early. That gets to the backstop. Marisnik aboard on the walk. Up to third goes Bodie. Kershaw going to have to dig deep here, first of all, to get out of this inning without further damage. But then as the day goes on, in a rare first inning visit from Mark Pryor.
After this pitch, Klayton looked like he was checking his footing on his landing leg. And then after he came in to cover home, he was kind of looking at the same thing. He looks down right there, move up easily to third on the wild pitch. Then Mark Pryor and Klayton talking about that footing on the mound.
Quick word from Fix Auto Collision Centers.
Supporting your community means supporting local businesses. Fix Auto Collision Centers are proud to be locally owned and operated.
He'd only walked 5 over his first 38 innings this year. 2 of them here in the first. And action in that bullpen. Dennis Santana.
Now you look at the Dodger bullpen and you look for length. It's like, who could be my 2-inning and 3-inning guys?
Generous strike there on Edelmaro Vargas.
The way this season started out and how good the starters have been, how deep they went into games, it was like, who are the pieces in the bullpen, but we don't need you very long. Even if you're scheduled as kind of a long guy, they only needed you for batters or innings. But now, with the way the rotation is, with the Dustin May injury, with this doubleheader, with the game again tomorrow, and then the Angel series, Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor are looking for a little bit more length out of different pieces in that bullpen.
Yeah, to your point, Dodgers averaging more than 6 innings per start. It doesn't just lead the majors, but it's the longest average start length since 2015 in the majors, since that Mets staff that had Peak Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Bartolo Colon.
Klayton hasn't had a blip on the screen since he started the year with a blip in Colorado, but since then the next 5 starts have been off the charts. Same thing with Trevor Bauer, who's going in game 2. Erase their first games of the year and you've got guys that are a pair of aces going today. They're not playing like aces so far, but Klayton will give you his heart and soul.
Vargas tries to bunt. And it's foul, 1-2. Kershaw hadn't thrown more than 23 pitches in an inning this year, 34, and still just 1 out. First start of the season for Vargas. Got activated today with some of the moves they had, some of the injuries they're dealing with. Nico Horner placed on the injured list, so Vargas the second baseman. The Dodgers saw some in Arizona. Started his career with the Diamondbacks. Takes a ball. It's 2-2, and Kershaw just really frustrated with himself. Almost palms up there like, what am I doing? What's going on?
You know, with Wilson Contreras, the slider he threw him to strike him out the very first hitter of the game was like one of the best sliders we've seen all year. It was a strike for a long time and then buried. Now he has really lost the release point on both the curveball and the slider.
Bodie at third, Marisnik at first. 2-2. And now you're getting to the point where even if you think he's going to get out of this and you think that he can get you 5 or 6 innings or whatever, you worry about the number of pitches within 1 inning.
Yeah, and we all know that the Dodgers play the long game. And the long game right now is to make sure Klayton Cershaw is not damaged by this outing. It'll never happen mentally, but we're talking physically wearing him out, where all of a sudden you've got to carry it for another 3 or 4 starts to recover.
Goes full on Vargas.
There's 2 different kinds of pitch counts, right? There's the total pitches you throw in a game and how intense was each inning when you got to that total. And then there's the pitch count in a particular inning. And the pitch count in the particular inning is like running a sprint, and then somebody says, no, the sprint's not that long. We need you to double or triple the length of this sprint. And you go, oh my gosh, I'm not trained for that. I'm not trained for 36, 37 pitches. I'm trained for 20 and under.
I run the 100, not the 400.
Exactly.
And I took off thinking I was running 100. Payoff. Got him. Second strikeout of the inning. Marisnick steals second. It'll be at second and third for Hendricks.
A little bit of a gift from Vargas because Klayton Cershaw has not been landing this pitch. So in the back of your mind, you've got to be thinking fastball. And if that was a fastball, it's going to end up low. And it's a slider, and it ends up tremendously low. So Klayton might be able to get out of this with the 4 runs now with the pitcher coming up.
Kyle Hendricks pops the first pitch up into shallow center field. Taylor with a call and the catch. It takes Klayton Cershaw 39 pitches to get through the first inning, and the Cubs have a 4-0 lead.
This Thursday, the Braves take on the Nationals at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Watch it for free on the MLB YouTube channel from your favorite devices. Catch the Braves at the Nationals live for free on youtube.com/MLB.
Really? Really? Free